Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Jesse, earlier you made some comments about responding to and such. Could you restate what you said about that? Something about criminality or criminal, if you did?
No, I don't think I used the word criminal, but I don't think I don't think it is excusable that a physician thinks he cannot talk to his member of Congress.
Okay.
And nor do I think anybody in VA should be telling.
Will the gentleman yield?
Yes.
Very quickly, if you can hold the clock. What I'm referring to is them being directed, not that the physician or whoever the clerk may be, and obviously it's in the investigation that a committee is trying to do as it relates to its oversight responsibility in Congress. So I wasn't implying that the physician was, but it is our understanding at the committee that there have been people who have been instructed not to talk to Congress.
Well, do you want to? I can maybe put some context around that because
if you just hold the clock and go ahead.
Okay, so right now, yesterday, today, this past week, as you know, VA has been putting out a lot of the wait time data as part of being very transparent about this. There has been concern that at the facility level, they may not be looking at exactly the same data that we were releasing. We wanted to be very careful that we didn't have facility or network directors appear to be misleading their congressionals by saying, well, this is where we are, and then having this national data release say something different. So there was a caution put out to wait until we had distributed the data to them that was going to be released. And I will say it was an ill-worded document, and it was followed immediately by a statement of clarity. This was not intended that they could not talk to congressionals, to just hold off until they had the data that they could talk to them about and ensure they were getting the right data. You know, we get terribly compromised if we don't, if we've got one person saying one thing and another saying another, and we want to make sure as we move forward especially, and understanding what we put out this week is only the first drill at this. We will be repeating that on 2-week intervals. So
thank you.
Anyway.
Thank you very much for that clarity. It does add some light onto to the issue, but I will also tell you this. We were told by Dr. Lynch 2 weeks ago, because every member of this committee has been asking for the data from their facilities, and we were told that we would receive it once the report was final. The report's final. I got a call today that my local media got it before I've got it. I just don't understand why people in the VA won't follow through with their commitment. Now, you don't need to respond to that, but that's a statement. I yield back to Mr. Huelskamp.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. And I did want to read from an email that was handed to me by, I guess, an acting director. And for members of the committee, I did not know this. If the director and the assistant director are on vacation or on a management conference, at least in Wichita VA facility, the acting director is the chief nurse. But handed me an email that said, please immediately stand down on any further communications with stakeholders, delegation members, and others regarding the access audit, wait lists, and accelerating care initiatives. And I didn't take that very well.
No,
can you explain? This was approved at the highest levels. Who approved this stand-down message?
I saw that memo, and I personally saw that memo probably 5 minutes after it went out, and I said, this is not acceptable. If that cannot be pulled back, then you need to put a clarification memo immediately to explain the intent is not to have you not talk to your congressionals. The intent is to wait until you have the data from us to share with them. Because frankly,
I appreciate
that's who should be sharing
that
that data.
The follow-up email was 5 hours later. Actually, 5.5 hours later after I had sat there trying to get answers to questions. And let me describe, and you might have missed this the other night because I requested this email. The facility eventually provided it to me. Your office did not. The VA administration did not. I requested that at our last hearing and had to get that from the facility, so I appreciated that. But here's what occurred in one facility. And again, there are numerous examples across the country, and so I'm trying to draw attention to one facility in Kansas that's not in my district. I do not have a hospital in my district, so we're always leaving the district for that. But here's what occurred. May 30th, the facility announced, or actually had a U.S. Senator visit the facility about noon and was told by, I think, well, if the director was there that day, I don't know. He seems to be taking a lot of time off, but I think it was the acting director for the day said, we have no problem here. 3 hours later, a fax went out, said we have discovered 9 veterans on a secret waiting list. Maybe unauthorized, that's the magic word out of there. And that was sent out to the delegation and the public 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. I began calling once I landed in an airport, calling, sent emails, had no response for 5 days, no answers. Hey, we'll get together with you, but wouldn't answer questions. Then there was a leak to the media of 385, rumored, and so I jumped in a vehicle, drove to the facility, and was handed this email and said, go away.
Oh.
Go away. And I did not. We stood there, and they finally got the director on the phone, who was in Denver at a management conference. But since then, this is what's concerning as well. Since then, they've discovered another 636. So there's over 1,000 veterans on the waiting list. And, Doctor, here's what they told me. Well, we didn't know we even had a near list. We didn't know that was in the system. The system that's apparently been around for 20-some years. This facility didn't even know. And I'm not asking you to explain this, but I'm asking, maybe this is why we need some more investigation. More people should show up and ask those questions, because either they're misleading or worse, or frankly, incompetence. If you didn't know you had these veterans sitting on the list, and as I understand the numbers that were released in the audit do not include other unauthorized lists. That's still yet to be known. Is that correct?
Well, if we don't know where unauthorized lists are, we can't include them.
Tell me how you're going to find them.
It does include the
How are you going to find them then? I understand that you don't know.
Right, so...
But you didn't make any reference to other unauthorized lists that were found in Phoenix. The types found in Phoenix, you didn't make any reference to those at all.
So the near list everybody should know about, and I don't say this as an apology, but there's a software defect that gives a different number if it's pulled locally than if it's pulled nationally. So all of the near data is being pulled nationally, and the sites have been directed to go to the VSSC, the National Center, to pull their data down. But this
how long did you know about this glitch in the data?
As we were trying to pull this data together. That's because this is a problem. We had facilities saying we don't have it.
We've had 2 weeks of hearing. This is the first time you've said the near list is a data glitch.
The near list is part of the process of scheduling.
Well, it is not in the Dole VA facility. That is not accurate, or else they're lying to me. My question is, it's not about just one center and one hospital. This is systemic, nationwide, where the basic, what you tell me, the near list is everywhere. That's what they told us 2 weeks ago. Then I go to a facility, and what they say is, we didn't even know there was such a thing as the near list.
Well, I can't speak for a single...
Well, how about finding an answer to that?
I will ask.
Can we do that?
Sure, I'll ask.
And in the future, when I request documents, I would appreciate you provide them, especially ones that had gagged employees. I want to give them credit. They went ahead and answered despite Janet Murphy's direct instructions to not talk to me.
Well, as I said, that was not the appropriate statement, and I hope we did get that correct.
And who did approve that statement?
Nobody. It was Jan Murphy. Well, it was put out. Not every email gets approved by...
Well, gag order email, I just want to know who approved it. Janet Murphy?
Jan Murphy sent it out.
But who approved it?
Oh, I don't know. I saw it after it was out, and I'm the one who...
Can you tell me who approved that? Was it a higher level?
No, I can't.
You can't find that out?
Oh, I could find it out.
Please find it out. Thank you.
But I did say we tried to correct that because it was not intended to be a gag order. I thought it was poor choice of wording. No question, it sounds like that. It's not the intent. The intent was to ensure you saw the right data, and you didn't get in a conflict of where they were saying one data and then you would see another piece. We want to make sure we're speaking on the same page.